Okay, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be sharing a video with you all. My husband has been a lifelong Bengals fan. We've been together 38 years and he was a Bengals fan a lot longer than that. So I'm just going to let him talk. We're filming him in his media room and I'm just going to show you here some of the stuff he's got set up. All of his Bengals, well, not all of it, but some of his Bengals paraphernalia. Look over here, he's got this here, and then if you go over here, he's got Bengals Boulevard there. I thought you had something else.
I just put it all over here for
okay.
this.
All right then. Well, I'm just going to set it up, and I'm going to film you, and I'm just going to let you talk. Let me fix my camera to the best thing here. Wait just a minute.
I've never been interviewed before, so I'm like Ricky Bobby on Talladega Nights. I don't know what to do with my hands. Anyway, yeah, Vicky does her show, and sometimes I'm in there doing taste tests and things like that. But a lot of times I'm in here in my media room watching things about the Bengals because this has been a very special season. We had not won a playoff game in 31 years, and we won Saturday against the Raiders, and we are in the divisional round of the playoffs. We play the Titans this coming Saturday at 4:30. But we've had just a great season, a really young, exciting team. We have Joe Burrow, who is the next Tom Brady. I think a lot of people will agree to that. 4,000-yard passer, and we had a 1,000-yard running back and 2,000-yard receivers, and they're all 25 and under. So finally, we're getting to where the Bengals fans deserve. So, growing up, I was just a big sports fan, and my dad said the Bengals didn't start till 1968, the same year my wife was born. Before that, my dad liked Johnny Unitas and the Baltimore Colts. I kind of liked the Minnesota Vikings and Fran Tarkenton. They were in the Super Bowl when I was little. But then I started watching the Bengals, and I really liked them. Ken Anderson was the quarterback when I started watching, and he's my favorite. But in high school, my friends would give me a hard time because they knew how big a Bengals fan I was, and we were losing. My last 3 years of high school, we went 4-12, 4-12, and 6-10, and I kept saying, we're so close, especially my senior year when we went 6-10. That team was on the verge. So guess what? The next year when I'm in college and only a couple of my friends are there, the Bengals go to the Super Bowl. So I was right. They were that close. And that was awesome. We got to go to the Super Bowl. We had a bad game with turnovers, and we lost 26-21 to the 49ers. And again, that was not the 1981 season. Then 7 years later, in 1988, we went again to the Super Bowl. And that team was really fun with Boomer Esiason, Ickey Woods, the Ickey Shuffle. So the Bengals have always had a lot of personality and stuff. The 90s were a really rough decade, and unfairly, the media and the football world looks on us like we've been a bad franchise. But it's not really been accurate. We've been so close, and then we've had some bad luck. With Marvin Lewis as the coach, we went to the playoffs, I think 5 times, just didn't win a game. So it's been 31 years since we won a playoff game, but we've been 8 times. That's pretty good. Just on the verge, and some of those we had injuries to our quarterback, injuries to our star receivers. But just to tell you some, I know this isn't about the Bengals, y'all. You can find that information anywhere. But like the quarterbacks, Ken Anderson, Boomer Esiason, Carson Palmer, Andy Dalton, Joe Burrow, we've been blessed with some really good players. So back about 05 or 03, really, my son Kobe, who is now 29, and my nephew Jordan, and our kids, they got into the Bengals with Chad Johnson. He was so exciting. Carson Palmer. And now Kobe and Jordan are just obsessed. My son Kobe, when the Bengals win, he is so happy and exhilarated. So I'm more wanting to win for him now. And when they lose, it's just really hard. And we had just a horrible loss in 2015 to the Steelers. We had the game won and fumbled, and crazy things happened at the end with self-destruct, and we lost. And he made a Facebook post about that night, what it meant to him, and to come from that and get to see him be happy, it's what sports is all about. because we don't have anything to do with the outcome of the game. But when you root for a team and they lose and it hurts, but when they win, it makes it all worth it. And Saturday's win to lift that losing streak and to have a chance at the Super Bowl. We're not the best team, but we're really close and we can win. But anyway, the things about sports and what it teaches you, when things don't go right, life's not always going to be perfect and things are going to go wrong. And sports is a good way to learn those lessons. And it's been really fun to be passionate about a team. And what's really cool is not just me and my son and nephew, my whole family, all my brothers, my sister, my parents, my mom is just so passionate. Every game, as soon as it's over, she calls me and wants to talk about it. And my dad was a huge part of that. He passed away August the 7th, and I just feel like a connection with him when the game's on because I can just feel that spirit. But so it just meant a lot to me, my family, and everything. And the Bengals are cool. The stripes, the Who Day chant. Me and my son went to Atlanta to watch the Bengals play the Falcons a couple of years, 3 or 4 years ago. And whenever you would see a Bengals fan, all you had to just say Who Day, and it says it all. And I think that's just so cool. So of all the sports teams to follow, they have some really cool things. So it's been really a big treat. The 2 Super Bowl appearances were fun. So close in that second one. We lost with 34 seconds to go. We had to leave with 34 seconds to go. Joe Montana threw a touchdown pass, but just a couple plays before that, we dropped an interception that would have won it. So we've been close, but we don't get respect. We've been looked at as the doormat for the NFL. It's not accurate. Stats will tell you that. Even right now, the Bengals have a winning record against the Ravens and the Browns, but nobody would think that. And the Steelers have been a thorn in their side. They have been a very consistent program for a lot of years, but during those heyday of our rivalry right there with Marvin Lewis, a lot of times with Vontaze Burfict, there was a lot of things where he was a dirty player. Some of it was just over-aggressive. Some of it may have been. But a lot of times the Steelers would be the ones doing a lot of the things wrong. Like they hit a cheap shot on their putter once, which is one of the worst things I ever saw. But the media portrayed more of it to be the Bengals than the Steelers. That always bothered me so much. But nevertheless, Vicki wanted me to talk about my fandom for the Bengals. And it is really fun to have a sports team to follow. I love the Cincinnati Reds, the UK basketball and football team, my high school team, my little league team. I'm passionate about a lot of teams. My son's a high school baseball coach, so I love following his team. But the Bengals are a very special place.
Well, back to the Bengals. Tell me some of the biggest moments in the sports history of the Bengals, what they meant to you, like some memories that you have, where you were at, what they were, things like that.
Some of my best memories aren't even really about the games. It's more about the people.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That going to the Super Bowl the first time was amazing. The game turned out bad, and really we were the best team, I thought. We fumbled back-to-back kickoffs and gave up scores, but we still lost 26-21 and had a goal line stand they got against us, so could have easily won. The second Super Bowl trip, I remember Dad got a bunch of Bengals memorabilia, and a bunch of T-shirts that had Super Bowl. Passed them out to everybody in the family. I remember going to Grandma Wright's house, and he had a big box. Can't remember. And well, we had the sporting goods store, so I might have even got them, but can't remember. I just remember giving them out to everybody, and everybody in the family. When your whole family supports the same team, it's just so fun. And that was really cool. But some special ones. Chris Collinsworth's rookie year was the first year we went to the Super Bowl. And I remember when we won the AFC Championship game in the Freezer Bowl. It was 9 degrees below zero, and the wind chill made it feel like minus 54, if that's possible, something like that. It was horrible. And I remember Chris Collinsworth's interview after the game talking about Kenny Anderson, should be in the Hall of Fame. It's ridiculous that Ken Anderson's not in the Hall of Fame. He was a quiet, unassuming guy, but his statistics should have him there. But Chris Collinsworth's interview, just saying he's the man and talking about what a great quarterback he was. Archie Griffin, Isaac Curtis from those teams. Pete Johnson, a bruising fullback, was fun. The Icky Shuffle, that was so much fun.
Tell them a little bit about
really good.
Corey and the Icky Shuffle.
So we had in 1988 season, the Super Bowl was in 89, but in the 88 season when we go to the Super Bowl, Vicky's pregnant, and so baby hadn't really kicked yet, and we're watching the Super Bowl, and the 49ers kick off to us. Played with them both times, by the way. They kick off to us, and Stanford Jennings was the kick returner for the Bengals, and he ran the kickoff back for a touchdown. We went wild. So while Vicky's jumping up and down, she starts feeling the baby kick. So Phil and Corey kicked for the first time. Happened during the Bengals touchdown during the Super Bowl. So that was really cool. So then Corey was like 2.5 years old when Kobe was born, who's now the biggest Bengals fan, I think, in the world. And so Corey, when Kobe was born, he had really blonde hair. He's really blonde-headed. And Corey looked at him and said, "Boomer. That's Boomer. He looks like Boomer." So Corey was barely old enough to know anything.
Yeah,
at 2.5, and he knew who Boomer was. And could do the icky shuffle.
He couldn't walk and could do the icky shuffle. We'd have told him up.
So those kinds of things. And then the memories of Chad Johnson. He was so much fun. His touchdown celebrations and confidence and love for the game and the fans just really hooked Kobe and Jordan on watching Carson Palmer and Chad Johnson. Everything in this house was Carson and Chad at that time. And they'd go out in the yard and play. We play football all the time out there. And them imitating and emulating Carson and Chad. Those were some really good teams and fun teams. Another memory related to the game is that 2005 season, we have a home playoff game against the Steelers again, and the first play, and my brother-in-law and nephew were at the game, so Jordan and Kobe are here watching it. The first play, Carson drops back, but Jordan's on the phone with them at the game. Carson drops back and throws a bomb down the field for completion. First play, beautiful, and we're celebrating, and Jordan says, "Oh no," on the phone. Chris told him that Carson was hurt before the camera even went to him. And on the first play of the game, he throws like an 80-yard bomb, and then he is hit in the knee, and he's out. His ACL's torn, and he's done for the game, and we end up losing.
And
Steelers went to that was the last game of the playoffs. Oh. So the Steelers ended up going to the Super Bowl instead of the Bengals, we were definitely the favorite. We've had some really bad luck, and I know NFL teams do.
Who was in the Super Bowl that year?
It seems like the Steelers and Cardinals, maybe. I'm not positive. I'd have to look that up. And if it was Steelers and Cardinals, the Steelers actually won.
Well,
hope I'm right.
Who's the Bengals' biggest vice or whatever you want to call it? Their biggest enemy or? Who's the one y'all root against the worst?
Oh, the one it was clearly the Steelers.
Yeah, I know.
All these stories about the Steelers.
I know when they played the Steelers, oh my gosh.
The 2015 game was just the most hurtful sports memory I probably had. We were 8-0 to start the season, and Andy Dalton got hurt. He threw an interception and trying to make the tackle, broke his finger, and or maybe wrist, but he was out for the season. So the backup, A.J. McCarron, came in, and then we played the Steelers in the playoffs, and it's pouring rain. And I remember thinking, every time we had the ball, the rain was horrible. And when they had the ball, it let up. Sounds like I fanned on it. A.J. McCarron said that in the interview after the game. He said, "Did it seem like that to y'all?" Anyway, so many things happened in that game. And so the backup quarterback does a good job, and we take the lead and get an interception that should seal the game. Fontez Burfict. And Jeremy Hill fumbles, and they have the ball, and it's going to take them a long field goal to probably win it. And on a play that would have ended it, it was like 4th down. They throw a pass, it's incomplete, but Fontez Burfict hit Antonio Brown. And as an unnecessary roughness thing, moves it up 15 yards, gives them a first down. But in the arguing about that, the Steelers didn't like the way he was hit, and it should have been a penalty. But one of their coaches is on the field, and that's a penalty, and that take it 15 yards back. So Adam Pac-Man Jones is arguing that, touches the referee to tell him, and they call a penalty on us instead of them. So instead of 15 yards out, it's 15 more yards, puts them in field goal range. And then they win the game. That's the game where Kobe was talking about being so hurt. So we go out on the porch after the game. Me and Kobe just sitting out there, and we look down, and Mike's on his porch. My brother lives next door.
He's out in the yard with the dog.
And then he looks on down to Mount the Holler. My Uncle Tom's on his porch. So it's one of them where you just had to walk around and get over it. But games like Saturday when we won make it all worth it. So.
Well, how old was Kobe? Do you remember the picture of him? My mom got him and my other son, my older son, a Santa hat that had Bengals on it. I'm pretty sure Mom got it for him. I don't know where she got those.
Santa Claus hat was orange.
Yeah, it was a Bengals hat. Bengals. Yeah, and Kobe was holding up a sign, and he said, "All I want for Christmas is a playoff berth." And I didn't know what that was. I knew he spelled birth Berth. Is that the correct way?
Uh-huh.
So he was little. He was pretty little. How old was he then, would you think? He was in grade school, I'm sure.
It wasn't the '05 season, so it was before that. He was born in '92. So I would say he was about 11, maybe.
Yeah,
10 or
that sounds
11.
about right.
He had a
If I
Bengals
can
jersey
find
on
a
that.
picture, I'll insert it here.
Okay, there's more to that story.
Oh,
So,
they are?
yeah, that's the last game of the season, and a win gets us in the playoffs, and he's got that sign up for Christmas, and it was against the Broncos. We score the game time touchdown. We're down 7, so we score a touchdown, and we're all going crazy. And Vicky walks in, and she said, "What happened?" He said, "We scored the time touchdown." And she looks at the TV and says, "We're still behind by a point." It's like, it's just the extra point. A bad snap, and we missed the extra point.
I said no. I said no one misses. You all. What
You
did
said
I
they got to
say?
make the extra point.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Nobody misses them. They're 99.99%
And they
of
missed
the
it,
time.
and they still to this day
You
blame me
jinxed it.
for that. I jinxed it. Yeah, I've been blamed for
So we
several
didn't get
sports jinxes, evidently.
Yeah, the
But
Kentucky
I didn't
Christian,
realize that was that game.
the
But
Kentucky
they sure
Duke
don't let
game in
me live it down.
1992.
Yeah.
Christian Laettner hit the shot, went completely crazy when Sean Woods hit the shot to put us ahead, and Vicky walked in and said, "What's going on?" I said, "Oh my gosh, you won't believe it." She says, "There's still 2 seconds left." I'm like, 2 seconds? Like, they're all the way on this end of the court. There's the long pass to the shot, and I'm like, "How did you do that?" She jinxed us again. That one was earlier, but that one was actually a month old on that one.
For your little league, though, I was good luck charm.
Yes, she was.
I went for those others. But anyway, so needless to say, our family is huge Bengals fans, all the way up to our 80-year-old granny, and it's went down several generations. Even Amelia, that's 3. She watches the Bengals with her daddy, and she loves it. Her and her daddy do.
When the Bengals score a touchdown, he says,
stuff.
"Alexa, touchdown," and the song comes on, and she dances, he dances. It's fun.
And even little Aubrey, she's got her Bengals onesie on, and it's just continuing the tradition. But like Chad said, it's not about the score. I mean, obviously you want your team to win, but there's a lot of life lessons that you can learn with sports. But is there anything else that you want to say or share with us in this last little bit here?
Well, that's the beauty of sports, is that it does mirror life. But to have a passion for something you can't control, and feeling like you belong, and sharing that with so many people. We went to the Bengals Jaguars game this year on Thursday night. Kobe took me. It was very sweet of him. He paid for everything. And he gets on social media. I'm too old for a lot of that stuff, but there's a lot of famous fans, internet fans, and he went and met a lot of them at the tailgate parties, and we sat in that section with them. Oh my gosh. Didn't realize that there were that many other people as passionate and crazy as we are, and I guess that's true for all sports. But to share that moment with all of them, and I could sense that then something special is brewing. Everybody's excited about Joe Burrow. He's amazing. And Jamar Chase, the receiver, and Joe Mixon, the running back. But anyway, the fans,
I'll
you
try
could
to
tell.
insert some of those pictures and videos in here as well.
You could tell the passion and the excitement, and that was early in the season, and we had to come back and win that one, but we won, and we knew it was going to be a pretty good season. But there's some of the other stuff talking about the media. I don't watch too much of that, but before the draft, Joe Burrow got hurt last year. People get hurt. The offensive line was just mediocre, but they made it out like our offensive line was so bad, and the Bengals just threw him to the wolves, and he got hurt. That can happen to any quarterback. So before the draft, they were all talking about we need to draft a tackle. This one media guy says if the Bengals don't draft an offensive lineman, they need to be disbarred from the league. Well, we picked 5th in the draft. You can get offensive linemen in a lot of ways, but Jamar Chase was our number 1 pick out of LSU, and he played college with Joe Burrow. And me and Kobe wanted Jamar Chase the whole time, and that's who they took. And he's Rookie of the Year, and led us to this. And our offensive line's played really well. I think it still has to be addressed, in the future, but they do okay. They done really good Saturday, but Jamar Chase was way better pick. So the media was wrong, and the Bengals held true to their beliefs, and here we are.
So if the Bengals, any of them's out there watching this, or any of the staff, and obviously fans will be watching, is there anything that you want to look in the camera and say to the Bengals team or staff?
Before I do that, we talked about the players, but Marvin Lewis was so underrated as a coach. I've been a coach. I coached in the league for 25 years, and Marvin Lewis was great. I just love him. He was done everything great and had some bad luck in the playoffs. And then we wouldn't have been drafting first and getting Joe Burrow had we not had the worst record in the league. So we let Marvin go, but he was there 16 seasons. It's okay. It was time for a change maybe. So they get Zach Taylor, who right now I think is amazing, and I love Zach Taylor. But in his first year, you got growing pains. You got to learn what to do. We went 7-9 the year before with Marvin, so we lose and we get the first pick. Thank goodness we did, because Joe Burrow is going to make us good and relevant for a long time. But Zach Taylor has evolved his schemes, his coaching. He is a great person. He puts the players first. He's a great family man, just a really good character guy. And I'm so happy for his success because the first 2 years were really bad. And that's why we got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. But you have to go through those things. And Zach Taylor did it the right way and held in there and had to go through those hard times. And he deserves all this stuff that's happening now. But thank you, Bengals. Thank you to all the Bengals in the past, from Ken Anderson to Boomer Esiason, Chad Johnson, Mike Brown, the Brown family. They are so underrated as owners. Zach Taylor says that Mike Brown comes to every practice, and no other owners do that. But he doesn't get that respect. The media talk about us not having an indoor practice facility and things like that. But there's a lot more to being an owner than that. And I think the Bengals are so underrated and undervalued as a franchise, and I've been watching them a long time, and I'm honored to be a fan. So, hoo-day, and boy, I hope we can win Saturday and keep this thing going. We play the Titans Saturday, and the winner goes to the AFC Championship game.
Well, I thank you for filming this segment with me, and if you all like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, leave some comments below, and I'll be sure to share them with Chad. I'll let Chad answer any of the questions you may have or any comments that you will leave for him. I'll be sure to let him read those. And I thank you all for watching, and Bengals, we hope you can go all the way.
Hooday!
Who that? Big gang shit!